everybody? Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. It's a little bit rainy today, but I'm hoping that it's going to clear up and that the sun will shine. And that is one thing that we can always count on. It's not always going to be cloudy and rainy. You will see the sun. I don't know what kind of day you're having. I don't know what kind of week you've been having. But I just want to encourage you with that. Get some vitamin D, get outside, and it's good for you. There is a topic that I have been very interested in, and it is this word. It's nationalism. So I looked up the definition to nationalism, and it's loyalty and devotion to a nation. So I was born in America. That makes me an American citizen. I'm proud to be an American, like the song. But what can end up happening when we embrace nationalism is there's an extreme, which is what happened in World War II with Hitler. And he ended up speaking to a majority of the people in the nation. And though it wasn't morally right, the people agreed with it, and we ended up having things like the Holocaust, you know? And so World War II Germany, I mean, there were people that agreed with Hitler, there were people that didn't agree, there were people that were passive. Either way, the entire country was caught up in this movement. That is one extreme that I just want to be aware of as an American citizen, because obviously with the state of the world and everything going on, we want to make sure we're taking care of our country. But in the same token, before I'm an American, I am a Christian. And I just think we do not want to get caught up in fighting the wrong fights during this time. We're fighting to preserve our history, but in the grand scheme of things, kingdoms have risen and fallen throughout all of history. You know, so we just have to make sure that we are focused on the Great Commission, going out and making disciples, telling people about Jesus. That should be like our number one thing that we're focused on right now. If we spend all of our time trying to preserve American history, we're gonna miss out on the opportunity to propagate the gospel and push church history forward. I just don't want to be in that preserving defensive posture when there's so much work we got to do as the church, and truthfully there's so much stuff we got to do in our country, reforming and making sure that we do make America great again, or make it great. We want to make it we want it to be great, you know. So while we have nationalism that can kind of go to an extreme and cause things like the Holocaust and different things like that, we also have mob rule, which is something that we're dealing with in this nation today. And mob rule is control of a political situation by those outside the conventional or lawful realm, typically involving violence and intimidation. And you know, America obviously was founded on Protestant people that wanted to worship freely. Obviously in 1776, like, we signed the Declaration of Independence because we had taxation without representation. And we want to make sure that we don't go into this realm of things, because while peaceful protesting is like our American right, and truthfully it's like our nature, that can go too extreme as well. So I want to make sure we're aware of these two extremes. Nationalism, it can go too extreme. You know, I'm proud to be an American, but ultimately I'm going to heaven, you know, so I want to have that perspective. And while protesting is good and advocating and being a voice for people that are disenfranchised, we want to make sure that we don't go too extreme with things like mob rule and looting and all these things that are going on. There is a right way to do things, and as a Christian, we don't want to be too extreme on any side, because then we're getting distracted from the work that Jesus called us to do, which is make disciples. I don't want to be so focused on my American citizenship when ultimately I'm going to spend more time in heaven. I'm a citizen of heaven, and I want to live that way, I want to talk that way, and I want to fight the right fights. All right, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you real soon.